Shalom. Giving all praises to Yahweh Shemal Shai. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to you, hopefully elect. Getting right into it. As the title says, coming to a city street near you. And this is just in regards to what's going on out there in Ecuador. All right. We're pretty much, a lot of the northern tribes over there, man, they're living in fear because of all the gang violence and the gangs taking over and things of that nature, and it's getting bad. It's getting bad, which I find it no coincidence, because even in the scriptures, for the most part, dealing with the tribes, the northern kingdom being taken into captivity first, then you have the southern kingdom. Over the years and decades, it always seemed like the northern tribes were catching hell. They always seem to catch hell first, But nevertheless, this is coming to a city street to you, and this is, when I say to you, I'm talking about the non-believers, because like I said, it's getting bad. It's to the point now where we've had a lot of guys, the law enforcement, military forces over there in Ecuador, pretty much talking about how they just don't feel safe, because of the fact that a lot of those gang forces, all right, they're highly sophisticated. A lot of those military guys over there, cops and whatnot, law enforcement and whatnot, it's been coming out how those guys that are outnumbered, under-weaponed, because again, the gangs that are taking over there in Ecuador, hey, they're again, they're more sophisticated. All right. The law enforcement over there, they're outmanned, they're outgunned. So a lot of them are in terror, they're in fear for their lives. And it reminds me of this, because I was watching also one of the elders out there in Boston, which I believe he did a video going into, or it was might have been a response to another elder's video, just basically, I didn't get basically what it was just the fact that mainly to the women, because everything, the society is up on a convenience, and with that being said, all a woman has to do when she feels unsafe or in trouble or whatever the case may be, for her, it's as simple as dialing 911. But what are you going to do when 911 goes out of business? You see, because that's what we're coming to. All these comforts and luxuries, all that's coming to an end. And I was talking to a beloved brother, I believe he's from South Carolina, if I'm not mistaken, Brother Yawam. We were fellowshipping last night, and we were talking last night, and we were just chopping it up and just touching on how one of the things that we were talking about was just, man, because when the Lord strips the comforts, all right, basically when this whole system collapses, man, when this whole system goes down, and these people, when they're in a pitiful case, like we just talked about, that's going to be a sight to behold. Just seeing here. Just seeing the look on the faces of these people, and it reminds me of the king that told that woman on the wall, "Hey, if the Lord did this to you, what do you want me to do?" You know, because that's going to be the case for a lot of people, the mass majority of these people, if they're not of the elect. All right, it's just going to be one of those things, man. Hey, what hey, I can't help you. You know. So bear with me. I'm trying to look for this precept. Hell, brothers are going to have enough problems of their own as it is in Jacob's trouble. You know. So on that day, man, hey, a lot of people are going to get the cold shoulder. Bear with me. I'm trying to do this with one hand. Jeremiah 51, because like I was saying, a lot of the law enforcement, military enforcement over there in Ecuador, you know, they're outgunned, they're outmanned, they're living in fear. You know, people quitting on the job. They're saying the hell with that, which will be a wise thing to do, because ain't no ain't no. It's just not worth the risk, you know. And that's from me coming from a law enforcement agent, Slocky. That's me being in the law enforcement agency. You know, man. It is certain a lot of things, man. It's just not worth it. It's not worth the trouble. It's not worth the hassle. You know. Hey, I've always had the mindset, hey, because you're gonna put my life on the line. Because, you know, it's not worth the paycheck, you know. It's not worth the paycheck. You know, it ain't worth, it's just not worth no amount of money. I walked away from plenty of jobs and job opportunities because the risk is just not worth it, you know. But even much more on a higher scale, higher level, being a cop, being in the military and whatnot, hey, it's going to get to a point where, like I said, when this system collapses, because right now everyone has convenience. You know, something happens, you know, hey, 911, right? You know, but what are you going to do in that day? Because when that day comes, 911's going to go straight to the dial tune. It's going to go straight to voicemail. 911 is going to be out of business. And don't be surprised, you know, I'm just speaking through the spirit. Because like we seen videos out there in Ecuador, right? Videos out there in Ecuador where you had that one TV station being ransacked, you know, and everyone pretty much getting held hostage. I believe a few people got shot. Well, don't be surprised. Hey, over here in the States, you know, people over here in the States, hey, don't be surprised. You get police stations getting ransacked, getting taken over, cops getting held hostage, held for ransom, you know, things of that nature. Cops getting executed on spot. Don't be surprised. You know, that's why it's going to get to a point where, hey, a lot of the law enforcement over here, man, they're going to say, the hell with that. Fuck that. People going to be quitting the jobs, you know, walking off, right? People are going to be too busy trying to protect their own families from the insurrections and things of that nature, from the seditions and things of that nature, because that's what's coming. You know, that's what's coming. You know, and with all this talk of what's going on out there in the so-called border crisis and whatnot, hey, you best believe, man, you know, with these different states banding up together, right? There's pretty much being a call to action, pretty much. You know, hell, you even got some Democrats crying out to the Biden administration like, man, listen, this shit needs to stop. You know, this shit needs to stop. But Lord willing, it doesn't stop. All right? Because these people need to be humbled. The Lord really needs to shut this shit down. And as I always say, hey, for people to think that, you know, the worst is behind us, we haven't seen anything yet. Like the scripture say, the beginning of sorrows. We haven't seen shit yet. You know, this shit is just getting started, man. You know, and for people to think that these plagues aren't coming here just because they're happening over there, right? You know, that's over there. They ain't, you know, ain't got nothing to do with me. Well, it is gonna be, because that's a scary thing. Because it's gonna get to a point where it's gonna be personal, you know. That's what the brothers always talk about, you know, how it has to get personal, you know. Because hell, you got migrants, so-called illegal immigrants, flooding the streets of Babylon. You know, these people, they're just coming over here, you know. They're just coming over here. Not being verified or anything. They're just coming through, right? It's being said that you have boats just on shore with all these, you know, you had some of these videos coming out with these boats of just so-called illegal immigrants just coming to the shores, California and different places. And, you know, these migrants are just, you know, just, you know, hey, running through, you know. And again, they're, you know, undocumented, so ain't no telling where they're going. You know, ain't no telling where these people are going. You know, hey, seditions are coming. You know, it's going to get to a point where people are going to start taking matters into their own hands. That's 2 Edges 15. People are going to just take matters into their own hands. Being seen that in many places, all right? Many places. You know, Ecuador, all right? The gang violence over there in so-called Haiti. This is getting bad everywhere. And if you don't think it's coming here, well, you just sit back and wait. All right, you're going to be a victim, or these people, they're going to be a victim of their delusion, a victim to their own delusion, a victim to their own comfort. Because being comfortable is a top killer, man. When you're complacent, you're comfortable, that's a top killer, man. You know, that's why that day is gonna catch these people like a thief in the night. You know, man, Jeremiah 51 verse 30. Matter of fact, before I get that, let me get this. I'm gonna get this in Jeremiah 51 and 12. Set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon. Make the watch strong. Set up the watchmen. That's what we're trying to tell people. Hey, this is what's coming. This is what's coming, man. You know, I was talking to another brother earlier today about how, hey, because there's a difference, you know. There's a difference just because you have a lot of Israelites out here teaching, you know, don't make them prophets, you know. You know, because the scriptures talk about prophets, teachers, so on and so forth. So you got a lot of these, you know, basically these basic level entry Israelite groups where, you know, yeah, you learn. And that's why the Apostle Tahar, you know, he often talks about how he doesn't knock a lot of these groups. You know, he gets on them when, you know, they're going off on the doctrine and whatnot. But for the most part, you know, he don't knock them because, hey, they're teaching Israel, you know, they're teaching Jake. But it's more to it than just, you know, wearing t-shirts, t-shirt fringes. You know, it's more to it than that. It's more to it than just cursing out the so-called white man. You know, having a so-called white man kiss your boot, lick your boot. There's more to it than that. You know, you see, because you have the actual prophets, you know, the actual prophets, the actual watchmen that are on the tower, sounding the alarm. Because these Israelite groups, for the most part, they don't get into the prophecies, man. They're not, warning their congregation. There's absolutely no sense of urgency. And another thing that we're going to start seeing, Lord willing, sooner than soon, a lot of these jakes in these different groups, man, they're going to start coming after these leaders, so-called leaders, for misguiding them, misleading them. So it's going to be pretty hectic all around. But nevertheless, you got the real prophets prophesying, man, giving the message from Yahweh B'Shem Shai, doing their job as being watchmen, reporting, sounding the alarm. It says prepare their ambushes. So that's the point. Prepare the ambushes. Preparing the ambushes, because America's set up for the fall. America's is being set up for the fall. Because there's all this back and forth. Well, why don't they just close the borders or this and that? Listen, it's a controlled demolition. All right, the order out of chaos. It's a controlled demolition, man. They're not going to close those borders. They want all hell to break loose. They want the people to freak out. Because then, man, like the saying goes, you back the cat into a corner, it's going to come out swinging. And that's what Esau, essentially, that's what he's doing. He's backing everyone into a corner. And it's going to get to a point where people are just going to take matters into their own hand. People are going to take matters into their own hand. Everyone's tired of this, everyone's tired of Esau. Because like the scriptures say, the nations have drunken of the wine and they're mad. Because come to find out, this whole way of living, the so-called American dream, turned out to be a nightmare, man. I'm going to get a quick one in Proverbs. So yeah, man, those ambushes are being prepared. They're being set up. America's being set up for the fall. America's being set up to be taken over, man. And I mentioned this before. Because, China pretty much owns America. This is just on another tip, little side note. China pretty much owns America, America has a debt that they're not going to be able to repay. So what I see, a possibility, because when it comes time to collect that debt, China, they could just come in, because you have a lot of Chinese nationalists that's been coming out. Chinese nationalists coming over here. They got all these Chinese, I forgot what they call them, but basically these spy stations, and that's the cover story that are being raided by the FBI and whatnot. They got all these Chinese stations over here in the States to supposedly, track down, Chinese civilians and whatnot and bring them back. Man, like I said, that's just a cover story. They got all these Chinese stations over here that are being raided by the FBI and whatnot. So what I can see happening when it comes time to that, China, coming to collect that debt, the rest is going to be history. All right, the rest is going to be history. Lord willing, man, because I can see it. Like the Apostle Gabar always says, you got to be a visionary, man. I can just see it one day. It's going to be something like out of a movie, like a Red Dawn. Just takeover, a complete takeover. Foreign troops. Moab troops, right? Just a complete takeover. I can see it. But I want to get this Proverbs 4. Because again, everyone's been waking up to come to find out that this so-called American dream is really a nightmare. And everyone's tired. Because this is what Esau do. He goes into these other countries, infiltrates their countries. He sets up puppet leaders, and then you wonder why. You know, you wonder why these once flourishing, prosperous, fruitful nations are third world countries. You know, the economies go to shit. You know, because hey, everyone drunk that juice, man, that Babylon juice, and everyone's tired and everyone's mad. So this is why you see more and more uproars of the people. You know, trying to get these puppet leaders out. You know, you see, man, because coming to find out, like I said, this American nightmare or American dream is really a nightmare. Proverbs 4. And believe it or not, this is what we're going to see here in the States real soon. Lord willing, sooner than soon. Proverbs 4:19. The way of the wicked is as darkness. They know not at the way, Slack. They know not at what they stumble. So you see, the point being, his ways are as darkness. You know, the way of the wicked is as darkness. You know, because everywhere this man of sin goes, death follows, destruction, confusion, it follows him. And this one, everyone's finding out, everyone's waking up. You know, so that's why more uproars of the people, which is in turn going to lead to seditions. Eventually, like I was saying, Esau taking matters into his own hand. All right. I'm sorry. Esau, he's backing everyone into a corner. All right. And people are just going to lash out, man. People are just going to come out swinging. People are going to take matters into their own hands. Like it says in 2 Kings 15, man. You know, you thought, what was that, January 6th? Which, you know, that vibration is 6, you know. But that January 6th, you know, that shit was you know, that shit was staged, orchestrated. That shit was nothing. You know, going back to what's going on out there in Ecuador, man. Hey, and that's how already happening here in America. You know, a lot of these, you know, cause hey, down there in South America, man. Hey, you know, them cats don't play, man. They don't play around. You know, you see all the videos, you know, people getting beheaded and shit. A lot of them are coming over here, ransacking people's homes. You know, people getting kidnapped, all type of shit. It's already happening, you know. But these things are only going to intensify. It's only going to get worse. But in Jeremiah 50, what was that? Because like I said, man, it's to the point now over there in Ecuador where, hey, you know, all those, basically this right here, Jeremiah 51:30. The mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. They have remained in their holes. Their might have failed. They became as women, and they have burned her dwelling places. Her bars are broken. So you see, man, eventually, long story short, man, hey, these law enforcements, because it's going to get to a point where, you know, even U.S., the military, America's own military, they're going to be getting certain, you know, orders, basically shoot to kill on spot and things of that nature. Things that are just completely unethical, you know, just unspeakable acts. And, you know, for the most part, hey, America's own military is not going to be with it, man. They're not going to be for it. You know, they're going to say the hell with that. And that's why majority of them, if not all of them, are going to get sent out to the Middle East. You know, you see, and who's going to be here to protect, quote unquote, you know, the American citizens and America's interests? Who's going to be here to, quote unquote, protect and serve? Well, that leaves way for them foreign troops. All right. Because I mentioned before the other day about how, hey, because for one, you know, and this is how we know America's going down. Because, you know, America's spreading its military too thin. And it's getting to a point where the recruiting numbers are so low that they have to lower the standard for people to enter, enter, you know, to join the military, you know. But they just sent out another, you know, some thousand troops out there to Israel. All right. You know, so out with the, you know, these cats and in with the foreign troops, man, the blue hats. you know, and they're not gonna be playing games, man. They're not gonna be playing games. But hey, yeah, man, these cops, law enforcement agencies and whatnot, man, they're gonna say the hell with that, man. Fuck this job. They're gonna be too busy trying to, you know, protect their own. Like I said, they're gonna be as women. You know, all these so-called tough guys, you know, from the Poogies and the Redways to the, you know, these Edomites that be out there in the woods and, you know, shooting the bullseye targets and shit like that, man. Hey, the Lord's about to bitch these people out. These people are going to be bitch made, man. The Lord's going to turn these people out. You know, because very scary times we're coming into. Unsure times. You know, because that's one thing. It's going to be one, you know, it's going to be one of those things where it's just like, damn, if it's not one thing, it's another, like the scriptures say. You know, as one that flee from a lion to run into a bear, just to be bitten by a serpent, what we're paraphrasing. You know, because not only are people going to have to worry about martial law, troops, and things of that nature, but hey, just people trying to get it in. You know, people trying to get it in. People trying to survive. Because that's what it's going back to, man. A primitive state, a primitive way of living. It's going to be a dog-eat-dog world. Everyone's going to have to, hey, get it in how they can get it. You know, only the strongest are going to survive out here, man. It is going to get crucial. You know, the scriptures tell you that, man. Hey, people traveling from house to house, city to city, streets to streets, and cliques. People are going to be linking up. You know, hey, it's about to get crazy. You know, people are going to get taken, held hostage, used as sex slaves. All right. You know, people want to be kept for food because cannibalism is coming back in a major way. It's going to get brutal out here, man. It's going to get brutal. You know what it reminds me of? This is just me speaking as a man, you know, because hell, just like the prophets today, hey, you know, the spirit be speaking through brothers, you know, just to put certain things into a certain perspective. That's why, you know, a lot of brothers, we use quote movies and things of that nature. You know, it's all spiritual, but it reminds me of Noah. Just speaking as a man, you know, more than likely Noah wasn't just, hey, there's a flood coming. No, man, he was probably, hey, he got in detail with it. You know, more than likely he got in detail. He was probably cursing people out, telling them they're gonna drown, your kid's gonna drown. You know, You see, man, hey, Yahweh Shema Shai, he's nothing to play with. All right, he's nothing to play with. And as I was saying, hey, it's only a matter of time before it comes here, because the Lord is just saving the best for last. You know, the best destruction for Babylon, man. So it's only a matter of time. So hey, stay tuned, because this is coming to a city street near you, man. You know, Lord willing, this was edifying. All praises to you, Yahweh Shema Shai. Shalom to you, hopefully elect.